How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another unboxing video at Battlegrounds Game Center. I'm Patrick, and today we're going to be taking a look at this little box here, Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs. This is the smallest version of Gloomhaven you will ever see, probably. This is a one-player version of Gloomhaven where it's more of like it has like the dungeon crawl elements still, where you use cards to move around your little mini. Everything's all kind of pre-planted, like the enemies and everything like that, but it still has the basic mechanics of Gloomhaven with the card of, you pick a top and a bottom of 2 cards, but everything is shrunk down so one player can play. This was one of those things that as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have this. This is just too good. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. And if you're just playing one-player games, this is for you. And it only takes about 20 to 30-ish minutes. So it's very quick, easy to play. But let's go ahead and get it open and see what comes inside. Considering how small it is, I might just have to hold the box, but we'll see. So open it up. So we've got the littlest rule book here. I don't know how easy it is going to be for the camera to pick up how tiny this is, but so it shows you you're getting started, character setup, scenarios. There's quite a bit of scenarios in there. But the cards, you can see you'll use cubes to track your enemies, but it shows their starting positions. There's like terrain and everything. How to play a scenario using your cards. So just like the regular Gloomhaven way. Instead of a card modifying deck, there's like this board that'll modify your attacks and stuff. Additional abilities and so forth. So very, very tiny rule book. But in reality, not many rules. If you're familiar with Gloomhaven itself, or Frosthaven, this should be an easy pickup. We're going to go continue here. We've got some cubes. I'm not going to pull them out, but they're just like little white cubes for tracking, and then the colored cubes, I believe, are for like enemies. We'll get to the most ridiculous part last, but it's pretty exciting. When I first saw these things, I was like, oh. So we got a tiny little die here. I believe you roll on this to show you like where you're on the modifier track or how enemies operate, I believe. All right, and then you've got little health dials for the enemies that rotate. Very nice. There's 4 of them here. I think one of them might be for yourself for wounds. Yeah, but there's still 4 for enemies here. All right, and then we've got a stack of cards here, which we'll look at real quick. So all the different cards for the different characters, and they are the tiniest versions of the Gloomhaven cards. They are double-sided, so they have like an A side and you have a B side, and I believe the way it works is once you get through your A cards, then you'll flip them and then you'll start using your B cards. But it still has the same basic mechanics of Gloomhaven, where you'll pick 2 cards. It has an initiative rating. You'll use the top of one and the bottom of another to do your actions, so like moving, ranged attacks, and so forth. So that's for one of the characters, a few of the others. So those look like all character cards. And then we've got more character cards here. So then we've got some modifier cards, double-sided, a bunch of them. Those are for the different characters as well. And then we've got enemy cards. So you can kind of see how an enemy card might look. So like here's a bandit guard. And then it shows you what their initiative is. Very cool. And then that'll be based off like that die roll. So there'll be like a little track that you put this card in, and whatever you roll is how they'll operate. How many wounds they have, defense, and so forth. Mouse. A lot of different enemies, and they're double-sided. So you get a good chunk of enemies in the game. Now, there are no standees or anything like that. They're just printed on the cards, which once I get into one here, I'll show you. So, another stack of cards. All right, so then we've got the bigger cards here, which are going to have an icon reference. So all the different icons. I'm not going to show that side because those are scenarios. And then you have your characters here. So you've got the Cragheart, a Bruiser, Spellweaver, which was my starting class when I did the original Gloomhaven, Tinkerer, Mind Thief, and a Silent Knife. Cool. So then you have the scenario deck here, which I'm not going to really go through, but I will show you the first one to kind of show you what a card looks like. So you flip it, it'll tell you a little bit of story here, some of the equipment you'll gather. Here's a scenario, and then when you flip it over, it'll have where enemies start and what color cubes they are. There'll be some terrain and some other modifiers to the game. And then when you'll put your mini on the starting location, and then you'll use your cards and actions to just make your way through the littlest dungeon you will ever see. And then there's about 20, I think there's 20 scenarios. So you got 20 cards to go through. Now, I will come back to this when I show you the minis, but we're going to set this to the side for now. And then we'll do these big pieces here. So this is for where you're going to put the enemies, and then you'll have like the little cubes here to show what form they're on after you roll the die. There's 2 of them. Little tiny token sheets for some modifiers to your person, so like wounds, stuff like that. Very cool. Some more character, or more enemy. So it looks like, 4. So yes, you can have it looks like you can have up to 4 enemies on a card. This one is for your modifier card, so you also have a die roll and everything, but then you'll have where it'll track where it goes. The cards from earlier, let's see if I can grab one here and show you. They just kind of slot in like that, and then depending on where the cube is, will determine what kind of modifiers you'll get. And then there's the enemy modifiers, so they also have their own modifiers. I kind of like this system more than just the flipping the deck. So I wonder if this is something that could be casually imported into regular Gloomhaven. I don't know, probably not, but it'd be kind of cool to use. So yeah, those are all of the main components. So you got your cards, you got your boards, tokens, but the best components of this game, when I first saw these, I didn't even have any words. So these are by far some of the littlest minis that I've ever really seen. I know that there's games that have little minis like this, but I can't even really show you in focus the detail of these things because they are so tiny. Like here's the bruiser, I believe, the sword and shield. And then you'll just take the scenario card and your little guy here will just start on that position so you can see where they are. You have the enemy cubes, and then you have your spaces to move. So I will say, if you're a little hard of seeing, this game might be a little challenging, but it is so hilarious and so cute. And it's only $20. It's pretty cheap. So if you want like a really cheap, quick and easy solo Gloomhaven experience, this game would probably be for you. Now, we have these in stock for you guys. So if you go to our website or come in store, we'll have a bunch of these available. As I said, they're only $20. But yeah, that's everything that comes in Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs. I'll leave a link down to the online store below. I might even attempt doing like a tiny little like one scenario playthrough of this to show it off. I think it might be kind of fun at some point here soon. But if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, go ahead and like and subscribe at the bottom of the screen here. We really appreciate all the new subscribers we've been getting and all the views on all our videos and helping us grow. But until next time, I'm Patrick at Battlegrounds Game Center. See you later.